So, welcome back to Revved Up Family Adventures. I'm going to put some welds on these bolts right here. Or, well, the nuts, not the bolts. The nuts. I'm gonna put some weld on these nuts. So this is where the bumper welds onto, or bolts onto. When I was putting the bumper on in the one video, it was very difficult to get down in here to try to hold the nuts. So this time around, live and learn. I've got the bolts and the nuts in there so that way it holds in place, and put some tack welds on it. Hopefully they don't look like Dirt Dover's nest. And do that on all 4 bolts. That way that'll make life a little easier when I put the back bumper back on. So since this is my first Samurai, and with doing so, I've gotten onto a lot of Facebook groups, and I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, whatnot, learning about them, and I've connected with a lot of people, a lot of really cool people that are very knowledgeable about these. And there's like almost like a cult following that nobody knows about these rigs. There's people that love them, from keeping them stock and restoring them like that way, or doing a build like this or just going like to the extreme on this side of it and make some killer buggies. But gentlemen, I sold the bumper that was on this. I sold it this last week, and I was talking with the gentleman came, and when he bought the bumper, got to talk about it and told him what I was planning on doing was I was going to cut this tab off and weld a piece of plate through this tube right here, and then weld a tab onto the bumper to help it give it some support. Because when I put it on in that one video, once I put it on there, I realized that because the way it bolts on, it was very heavy, and I was afraid that once I put the weight of one of these big tires on it, that without something on the top side of it to help brace it, that it would eventually, even with grade 8 bolts, it would have snapped off. So I was speaking with him, told him what my idea was, and he actually told me that most people, that happens a lot with these, because that's just the way the factory bumpers bolt on. So he pointed out that use this body mount right here, this bolt right here, put a tab right there, and it's already recessed. He said you just put your tab right there and weld it on right there. And I was like, that is so much simpler than what I was planning on doing. So we'll do that, not in this video, but I do want to get it to where I can get the bumper back on here. A short video I made earlier, I mentioned that we're going to put this in a Christmas parade, which I plan on recording when we do that, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. My youngest son is 13 and he has Downs, and he loves wheeling, and he loves parades, of course, and everything like this. So since I call this a Smurf, since it's little and blue, I told my wife that I had the idea of putting this in the Christmas parade, and it's got the blue underglows on it, which I'm going to change and put a better setup under it. And I bought some whips too that I'm going to put on it. But we're going to dress up as Smurfs. I've bought stuff to where I'll look like Papa Smurf. I've bought some white stuff to put in my beard where it'll be whiter than it already is. And my wife's got a yellow wig. She's going to do Smurfette, and Liam will be he wears glasses, so I think he'll be Brainy. Yeah, so I think that'll work out. He'll be Brainy Smurf, and he'll be here in the back seat tossing candy out while we ease through the parade. The last few years, my dad has won the local Christmas parade, done first place in decorated car with his Volkswagen Dune buggy. He's got a surfboard attached to the top of it, and he's got a hula dancing Santa, inflatable Santa, that he puts on top of it. And a couple months ago, the motor blew up in his car, and he doesn't have time to get it back together and running for the parade in a couple weeks, which was unfortunate, because I was excited for us both to have something in the parade this year. I thought it was going to be fun, because I was like, since he's won it 3 years in a row, I told him I was going to unseat him this year, and then his car blew up. So, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really cute. And as long as Liam enjoys it, our youngest son, as long as he enjoys it, that's all that really matters. If we win, that's going to be great. But as long as he has a good time, which I'm sure he will, and I think I'll have a lot of fun too. But back to the task at hand. He said I'm going to weld this. I got my welder pulled over here. Hopefully, get everything untangled. Hopefully my mask isn't dead. I'll use it in a minute. And again, like I've said, I'm no professional in any manner. And obviously you can tell I'm not real great at YouTubing yet either. So this may very well turn out looking like Ray Charles did it with his feet. As my cousin says. I had hair the last time I wore this, so I had to adjust it. My little brother is a welder. Probably should have had him come over and do this. But I'm like, I can do this. Don't get any better if you don't do it. That's a little bit better. The last one looks a whole lot better than the first one. So I'll just make sure to show everybody this side, not that side. But luckily the bumper's got them covered up anyway. Is all for Mr. Welder. Burn anything down. I do have a nice Eastwood welder. If you're in the shop, or if you're looking for a good gas MIG that is inexpensive, this Eastwood MIG 135 is a great machine. I actually bought this used from a friend of mine. He bought it and rebuilt. He built 2 cars with it, or well, a car and a truck. He rebuilt a '68 Mustang using it, welded in new quarter panels, floor pan, a bunch of different stuff. And then he built a '72 Ford short wide bed with it too. And when he completed his pickup, it was just sitting, and he'd offered to loan it to me, but then, and I had kept asking him to buy it, and I finally caught him, I think it was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I hit him up one more time. I was like, man, I'd really like to just buy this from you. And sure, he gave me a price, and I bought it from him. Great little machine. Eastwood, really good products. Great little welder. I got a good deal on it because it came with the tank and the stand, everything, which I'll show you real fast. Nice little setup right there. And then just mess this up for, let me make sure we can still see. Yeah, we can still see pretty good. So I'm gonna cut this off now. It's not so much that it's in the way or anything, it's just it bothers me. Now since I've taken the factory gas tank out, took that out a week or so ago. I took it out and just got it out of the way because come to find out it actually still had a full tank of gas in it, and which also made me realize the gas gauge didn't work. But yeah, I'm going to cut this off here, and then we'll be done with back here for a while because I don't want to mess with that while they're still hot. I did get my new tail lights wired in. It's not super pretty, but it's functional, and it's a whole lot better than the mess that was in here. I need to put some zip ties on some things, but I like it. I like the way they're in there. When I still had the spare tire carry on it before I took it off, I held it up there and made sure you could see. I took one of the tires, put on it to make sure that they would still be seen and not blocked. So it come out really good. Bought these off Temu. They were like $25, and I'm going to put the backup light on a switch because the reverse light, I'd have to trace down the wiring. So instead of messing with that, I just want to put it on a toggle or rocker switch that I've got. So that way we can, it should be, I've put power to it and they're nice and bright. And right now the brakes, the stop, turn, and tail work right now. I need to put get it wired for the backup lights. But yeah, it's coming along, slowly but surely. Like I've been meant to get out here all day to work on this thing, and it's 3 o'clock or later. It's actually, I think, closer to 4 now. But I got up at 9 o'clock this morning and was going to come out and get to work on it. But then the battery was dead from sitting in the garage, and then running errands, doing other things. Finally got out here. So I got my death wheel over here, as Finnegan and Freiberger call it, which is legit. My dad almost lost a finger a few years ago. He was cutting we were here in the shop, and he was cutting this U-bolts off of a rear end on a '66 Chevrolet pickup. No gloves, like he didn't have safety glasses on either. He was cutting, almost cut all the way through it, and then it pinched the blade and exploded, and it flayed his finger right here. Like you could see the bone. It's pretty nasty. So I definitely suggest being very careful. Like I want to get one of the face shields, and I still haven't yet. I need to get online and get one ordered. But I'm gonna death wheel that off real quick, and I might clean these up too. They're just kind of there, sharp points. Clean those up. Not that it changed anything, but like I like to clean things up. I'm one of those people that, like, if I'm going to show somebody that I did it, or other people are going to be like, oh, Ken did this, I want it to look nice. So, my name's attached to that. So I want to be proud of the work that I put out.